The modern human existence is often defined by a single, relentless rhythm. The alarm clock at dawn, the migration to the concrete jungle, the 40-year wait for a finish line that seems to recede further into the distance with every passing year. For the vast majority, the script of life is written in ink. You work until 65, and only then do you reclaim your time. But in the quiet corners of the digital world, a new tribe has emerged. They are rewriting the script. They call themselves the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. And they are not merely dreaming of freedom, they are engineering it with the cold, hard precision of a master architect. To understand this phenomenon, we must first look at the math. To the uninitiated, the idea of retiring in one's 30s or 40s sounds like a fantasy, a stroke of luck, or a lottery win. But for the FIRE adherent, it is a simple equation. It begins with the 25 times rule. Research, specifically the landmark Trinity study, reveals a hidden law of finance. If a person can amass a portfolio 25 times their annual expenses, they reach a tipping point. This is the FIRE number. At this height, a person can withdraw 4% of their wealth each year, adjusted for inflation, and the capital is likely to last a lifetime.
But to reach this summit decades ahead of schedule requires a radical departure from the norm. While the average worker is encouraged to save a modest 10% of their income, the FIRE seeker is far more aggressive. They live on 30% and save 70%. They view every dollar not as currency for consumption, but as a money soldier, an entity to be sent into the market to capture more wealth. Their weapon of choice is not the high-stakes gamble of individual stocks, but the passive power of low-cost index funds. They follow the teachings of elders like Vicki Robin and J.L. Collins, placing their faith in the broad growth of the entire market. They seek to own the world's economy rather than bet against it. However, the tribe is not a monolith. Within the movement, we observe a fascinating diversification of species. There is lean FIRE, the minimalist, surviving on less than $40,000 a year, finding richness in simplicity. Then there is fat FIRE, for those who refuse to compromise on luxury, building empires that support six-figure annual spends. We see the barista FIRE practitioners who quit the high-stress corporate grind, but keep a foot in the world of work for social connection or the vital safety net of health insurance. And finally, Coast FIRE. These are the ones who front-load their investments so heavily in youth that they can stop saving entirely, allowing the relentless power of compound interest to carry them to the finish line, while they simply work to cover their daily bread.
Yet, this path is not without its predators. The movement faces a storm of criticism. There is the privilege critique, the undeniable reality that this journey is far easier for the high-earning engineer than for the worker struggling at the poverty line. And then there are the mathematical shadows. The 4% rule was designed for a 30-year retirement. But what happens when a 35-year-old views the workforce? They may face 50, 60 years of uncertainty. A market crash in the early years, the sequence of returns risk, could devastate a portfolio before it has a chance to recover. In a world of surging inflation and the astronomical costs of private healthcare, some fear 25 times expenses is no longer a shield, but a gamble. But perhaps the greatest challenge isn't the money at all. It is the void. When the struggle for survival is removed, what remains? Many who reach the summit find themselves staring into a psychological abyss. Without the structure of the 9-to-5, who are they? This realization has birthed a new mantra within the community. Build the life you want, then save for it. The FIRE movement is evolving. It is shifting away from extreme deprivation and the singular goal of quitting. It is becoming a philosophy of lifestyle design. It is about the power of no. No to toxic bosses. No to the soul-crushing commute. No to the pursuit of status symbols that offer no lasting joy. In the end, FIRE is not really about the money. The money is merely the fuel. The FIRE is the freedom to choose how you spend the only currency that truly matters, your time. Because in the grand documentary of life, the most precious resource is a life lived on one's